Self-respect gonna always be the foundation. Everything else you're trying to build, a career, a relationship, a reputation, it all starts with how you see yourself and how you allow the world to treat you. If you don't set that bar for yourself, trust me, people gonna set it for you. And most of the time they gonna set it low. That's why self-respect ain't optional. It's survival. It's power. See, a woman who truly respects herself moves different. She don't run behind nobody begging for validation. She don't sell herself short just to keep company, and she damn sure don't let disrespect slide. She know her energy got weight. She know her time got value. When she walk in the room, she already carrying herself like she worth something. And because she believed that, people got no choice but to match that belief. Aspects start with boundaries. Boundaries ain't walls. They're not about keeping people out. They're about teaching people how to treat you. If somebody crossed the line and you let it slide, you telling them it's cool to play with you. But when you check it the first time, you let, no, not here, not with me. That's self-respect in action. You protecting your peace, your space, your energy. Now understand this, it's easy to self-respect, but the real test come when you're alone, when nobody clapping for you, when the phone dry, when the room quiet. Self-respect is saying no to situations that don't honor you, even if it means sitting by yourself. Because being alone in that peace gonna always be being surrounded but disrespected. A high-value woman don't chase validation. Validation is a trap. If you living off compliments, then criticism gonna kill you. If you only feel valuable when somebody else say so, then you forever at the mercy of their opinion. But when you respect yourself, you know your worth, even when the world's sleeping on you. You ain't gotta beg nobody to see it. You just keep moving, keep grinding, keep shining. Eventually the world catch up. Self-respect also means taking care of yourself. I ain't just talking about how you look. I'm talking about what you feed your mind, what you feed your soul, the conversations you entertain, the people you let close, the habits you practice. Those are all reflections of your self-respect. You can't say you value yourself if you keep surrounding yourself with chaos. You can't claim you love yourself if you keep letting toxic energy live rent-free in your space. And look, everybody slip sometime. You might stay too long in a situation that's beneath you. You might ignore red flags because you wanted to believe the best. That don't make you weak. That make you human. But the key is learning. Respect yourself enough to not repeat cycles. Respect yourself enough to walk away when something or somebody show you they ain't aligned with your growth. One thing about a woman who got self-respect, she don't gotta be loud about it. She don't gotta announce I'm valuable, I'm strong. It's showing her actions. It's showing how she carry herself. She don't engage in petty drama. She don't lower herself just to fit in. She don't compete where she don't compare. Her presence already speak before her mouth do. That's power. That's influence. See, the world gonna test you. It's gonna send people who wanna see how much of yourself you'll give up just to be chosen, just to be liked, just to feel wanted. But when you respect yourself, you realize you're already chosen. You're already validated by the way you live, the way you move, the way you keep your standards. That's the difference between being winning for a moment and being valued for a lifetime. At the end of the day, self-respect is freedom. It frees you from begging, from chasing, from explaining yourself to people who ain't even qualified to judge you. It gives you clarity on who deserves access to you and who don't. And most importantly, it reminds you that you enough, even when you strip everything else away. So never trade your self-respect for attention, for comfort, or for temporary love. Because the moment you do, you tell the world it's okay to treat you less than what you are. But when you stand firm, when you carry that respect first, everything else gonna follow. Opportunities, relationships, success, they all flow easier when you already treat yourself like you matter. And that's the truth. Self-respect ain't just a habit. It's the root. It's the code you live by. Once you master that, everything else fall in place. Emotional control is one of the sharpest tools you can carry because life gonna test you. People gonna press your buttons, situations gonna come at you sideways and emotions gonna rise up quick. But the difference between somebody that's mature and somebody that's reckless is how they respond in that moment. See, reacting is easy. Responding with control, that's where the power at. When you lose control of your emotions, you hand your power to whoever or whatever got you triggered. Think about that. Somebody say one slick word and now you out of character, now you heated, now you moved off impulse. You just gave them control of your energy. That's like handing over the keys to your car and letting a stranger drive you off a cliff. Emotional control is saying, nah, I'm still behind the wheel. I decide where I go, not you. Understand this, maturity ain't about not feeling emotions. You're human, You're going to feel anger, pain, frustration, jealousy, even fear. But emotional control means you don't let those feelings run the whole show. You acknowledge them, you process them, but you don't let them dictate your moves. Because moves made off emotion, 9 times out of 10, going to cost you more than you gain. A high-value woman that got emotional control walk into every room with composure. She ain't quick to snap. She ain't letting small things throw her off balance. She carry herself steady. And that steadiness, it intimidate people who thrive off chaos because they realize they can't shake her. They can't get a rise out of her. She's unbothered but not numb, calm but not weak. That balance is strength. Think about how rare that is in a world where everybody reactive. Somebody posts something online. Folks rush to comment without thinking. Somebody cut them off in traffic. They ready to risk it all. Somebody disagree, they go from 0 to 100. That's the culture. People living off impulse. But when you got emotional control, you separate yourself. You ain't just part of the noise, you move with intention, not reaction. Emotional control also protects your relationships. See, words said in anger can't be unsaid. Actions done in heat can't be undone. You can destroy years of trust in one moment if you let your emotions dictate your decision. But when you pause, when you breathe, when you choose to respond instead of explode, you protect what's valuable. You build instead of break. That's the difference between temporary satisfaction and long-term respect. But don't get it twisted. Emotional control ain't about bottling everything up. That's dangerous too. It's about channeling it. You take that anger, that frustration, that sadness, and you pour it into something productive, into your grind, your growth, your art, your health. Instead of destroying, you build. That's emotional alchemy, turning negative energy into progress. Another piece of emotional control is self-awareness. You gotta know your triggers. You gotta know what gets under your skin, what make you slip, what environments pull you out of character. And once you identify those, you don't avoid them out of fear. You master yourself in those spaces. You train yourself to stay centered when everything around you trying to knock you off balance. That's real discipline. And here's the truth. People respect emotional control. You ever notice how the calmest one in the room usually got the most influence? It's because while everybody else spinning out, they're the one that's steady. You trust steady. You admire steady. That's leadership. That's authority without even asking for it. Now, emotional control don't mean you cold. That don't mean you ain't passionate. It mean you know when to use that passion and when to hold it. You ain't wasting energy on petty battles. You saving it for the fights that matter, the goals that count, the vision you building. You got a mission, and you ain't letting temporary emotions knock you off that path. So when you feel yourself getting heated, remember you in control. You don't got to respond to everything. Silence can be power. Walking away can be power. Choosing peace over chaos can be power. That don't make you weak, it make you wise. Because the strongest moves ain't always the loudest ones. At the end of the day, emotional control is about mastery. Mastery of self, mastery of energy. Anybody can control somebody else for a moment, but controlling yourself, that's lifelong strength. That's maturity. That's value. And when you move like that, you separate yourself from the crowd. You ain't just existing, you leading. You ain't just surviving, you thriving. Control your emotions or they're gonna control you. And once you learn how to master them, you're unstoppable. Growth don't stop once you reach a certain age, a certain income, a certain milestone. Real growth ain't a destination, it's a lifestyle. Continuous growth is about waking up every day, knowing you got more to learn, more to sharpen, more to become. It's about refusing to stay the same. Because the second you get comfortable, you start declining. Life don't stay still. It either push you forward or it pass you by. A woman committed to growth don't waste her energy comparing herself to others. She compared herself to who she was yesterday. She asks, am I sharper than I was last year? Am I stronger than I was last month? Did I feed my mind today? That's the competition, the old version of herself. And every time she level up, she widening the gap between who she was and who she becoming. That's power. Continuous growth means you don't let mistakes define you. You let them refine you. You fall, you get up, you study the lesson, and you move smarter next round. Every setback got a seed of wisdom if you look for it. That's why she don't run from failure. Failure ain't the opposite of growth, it's the ingredient. Each misstep give her data. Each L teach her what not to repeat. Growth-minded people don't lose, they learn. But growth ain't just about knowledge, it's about mindset. You can have all the information in the world, but if you're stuck in old ways of thinking, you're going to block your own elevation. Growth requires humility, the courage to admit you don't know everything, the strength to listen, the discipline to apply what you learn, and it requires patience too, because real transformation takes time. See, growth got layers. It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. A woman focused on growth take care of her body, not for validation, but for longevity. She trained her mind by reading, studying, expanding her vision. She practiced emotional intelligence so she can handle life's storms with balance. She deepened her spiritual side, whatever that means for her, so she got peace at the core. All of that together, that's continuous growth. Another piece, growth don't happen in comfort zone. You got to step into the unknown. You got to try new things, meet new people, explore new spaces. Comfort keep you the same. Challenges change you. Every time she step out of her zone, she stretch herself. She gain new perspective, new confidence. And once you stretch, you can't shrink back to small. Continuous growth also mean you invest in yourself. Time, energy, resources, all of that. You don't hesitate to put money into books, courses, experiences, mentors. Why? Because you're the biggest investment you'll ever make. A bag can get spent. A car can break down. But knowledge and growth stay with you forever. And when you evolve, you make yourself too valuable to be overlooked. Now, here's the flip side. Growth gon' cost you. You might outgrow people. You might outgrow environments. You might outgrow old versions of yourself that used to feel comfortable. And that's not easy, but it's necessary. You can't stay around small energy expecting big progress. You can't cling to the old while reaching for the new. Sometimes growth looks like separation, but the reward is evolution. And don't confuse growth with speed. It ain't about how fast you move. It's about how consistent you move. Little steps every day add up to massive change over time. A woman that commits to steady progress gonna outlast the one who just chase quick wins. Growth is marathon energy, not sprint energy. Day by day, brick by brick, she built herself into something solid. At the end of the day, continuous growth is about never settling. It's about looking at your life and saying, I can do better. I can be better. I deserve better. And then putting in the work to make that real. It's a mindset that keeps you sharp, hungry, and evolving no matter what stage of life you're in. So remember this, growth ain't optional if you want to stay valuable. The world changing, life moving, and opportunities shifting. If you stagnate, you get left behind. But if you keep growing, you stay ahead. You keep attracting, you keep expanding. Continuous growth is the proof that you respect yourself, that you believe in your potential, that you refuse to settle for less than your best. And when you live like that, you're not just existing, you're elevating. Every season, every chapter, every level, you climb higher, and that's what separates the average from the extraordinary, the commitment to never stop growing. Independence and purpose go hand in hand. You can't really claim independence if you don't know your purpose, and you can't truly live your purpose if you're too dependent on people to validate it. Independence is about standing on your own too, having your own motion, and not letting your identity be defined by somebody else. Purpose is about direction, knowing why you're moving and where you're headed. Put them together, and you get a force nobody can control. A woman that walks with independence don't wait for permission. She don't wait for somebody to come save her. She don't sit still hoping for opportunity. She created. That don't mean she gotta do everything alone. It means she don't rely on anybody to complete her. She already complete. When she add people to her life, it's addition, not dependence. She not leaning on them to hold her up. She already standing tall. That's strength. But independence without purpose can turn into emptiness, because it's easy to confuse being busy with being fulfilled. You can grind, you can make money, you can stack accomplishments, but if you don't got a bigger why behind it, it'll feel hollow. Purpose give independence direction. It turn motion into progress. It turn work into legacy. A woman with purpose wake up with intention. She know why she getting up in the morning, she know what she building toward, and she know the impact she want to leave behind. Independence ain't just financial though, that's part of it. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. Financial independence means you don't gotta compromise yourself for survival. Mental independence means you think for yourself. You don't just follow trends or opinions blindly. Emotional independence means you can hold your own happiness. You don't need constant validation to feel whole. Spiritual independence means you connect with something bigger than yourself, and you ain't shaking every time life hits you. That's a full package. Now, let's be real, independence can intimidate people, especially when it comes to women. Some folks feel threatened when they realize they can't control you, they can't manipulate you, they can't break you down with fear. But that's exactly why independence matters. It protects you. It makes sure the only voice that decides your direction is your own. You're not bound by approval. You're not trapped in unhealthy attachments. You're free to choose. Purpose, on the other hand, keep you grounded, because independence without purpose can look like rebellion, just breaking away from everything. But when you got purpose, you ain't just breaking away, you building towards something. Purpose give meaning to the grind. It keep you from drifting. It reminds you that life ain't just about taking space, it's about making impact. A woman with purpose got presence. She moved different, she ain't begging for attention, she attracted, she ain't following the crowd start following her. Why? Because people drawn to clarity. When you know who you are and where you go, it inspires others who still trying to figure it out. That's influence. And influence rooted in purpose lasts longer than popularity. Independence and purpose also protect you from desperation. See, when you don't got them, you settle. You settle for jobs that drain you, relationships that break you, situations that limit you. But when you're independent and purposeful, you're patient. You know what you're worth. You know where you're headed. And you don't accept less than alignment. That's why women with real independence and purpose don't chase, they attract. They know the right people, opportunities and blessings gonna meet them on their path. But don't get it twisted. Independence ain't about isolation. It don't mean you can't lean on people. It don't mean you can't build partnerships or accept help. It means you choose from strength, not from need. You connect out of overflow, not out of emptiness. And that's the best kind of connection. Two whole people building together, not two halves trying to fill each other. At the end of the day, independence and purpose make you unstoppable. Independence keep you solid, purpose keep you focused. One protect your foundation, the other guide your direction. Together, they give you freedom, clarity, and power. So ask yourself, are you standing on your own too? Do you know why you're moving? If not, it's time to invest in yourself, build your independence, and find your purpose. Because once you got both, you ain't just surviving, you thriving. You ain't just existing, you leading. And that's what separates a woman who blend in from a woman who stand out, the courage to be independent and the vision to live with purpose. Grace in relationships don't mean weakness. It don't mean letting people walk over you or holding back your truth. Grace is about how you carry yourself with others, how you give love, how you set boundaries, and how you maintain your peace while still building meaningful connections. See, anybody can show love when things are smooth. Grace is about how you move when things get rough, when egos clash, when misunderstandings happen. That's where maturity shines. A woman with grace know that every relationship, friendship, family, romance, business carry energy. And how she show up determine what kind of energy she attract back. If she lead with bitterness, she gonna receive bitterness. If she lead with grace, she set the tone for respect. Grace don't mean she accept disrespect. It means she handle it with dignity. She don't match low energy with low energy. She don't let someone else's chaos pull her out of character. She respond with calm, with clarity, and with strength. That's real power. Grace is patience. People not always gonna move how you want them to. They're gonna slip, they're gonna disappoint, they're gonna see life from a different lens. Grace is understanding that and choosing not to take everything personal. It's knowing when to teach instead of tear down, when to step back instead of argue, when to release instead of cling. That don't mean she tolerate nonsense. It means you know the difference between a mistake and a pattern, between a misunderstanding and manipulation. And when she see the truth, she act on it without bitterness. A woman with grace don't use love as a weapon. She don't guilt people and stand. She don't manipulate to get her way. She build relationships on respect and honesty, not control. She know that if somebody truly value her, they'll move right without being forced. And if they don't, she got the grace to walk away without destroying herself in the process. That's strength wrapped in softness. Grace also means forgiveness. But let's be clear, forgiveness ain't about letting people off the hook. It's about letting yourself off the weight. When you hold grudges, you chain yourself to pain. But when you forgive, you free yourself. That don't mean you let them back in your space. It means you choose peace over poison. Grace is that balance, protecting your peace while releasing the hate. Relationships built on grace got a different vibe. They feel safe. They feel inspiring. They feel steady. Why? Because grace creates space for growth. Nobody perfect. Everybody gonna fall short sometimes. But when grace is present, people feel encouraged to be better, not shamed into it. That's why a woman with grace naturally elevate the people around her. Her presence make them want to rise up, not shrink down. Grace in relationships also mean honesty. She don't sugarcoat when truth is needed. She don't avoid hard conversations out of fear, but she deliver that truth in a way that builds, not breaks. She can correct without condemning. She can challenge without humiliating. That's leadership. That's influence. But don't confuse grace with always giving. Grace is also about knowing when to pull back. A woman with grace understands that love without boundaries turns into self-destruction. She gives freely, but she don't empty herself to fill others. She know her worth, and she expect that worth to be honored. If it's not, she got no problem removing herself. That's grace too. Leaving without drama, without revenge, without losing your character. See, grace is quiet. Confidence, it don't scream, it don't beg, it don't compete. It's steady, it's calm, it's unshakable. And in relationships, that kind of energy command respect without demanding it. People can feel it. They know they either rise to it or lose access to it. And either way, she stay at peace. At the end of the day, grace in relationships is about legacy. It's about the impact you leave on the people you connect with. Years later, they're gonna remember how you made them feel, how you carried yourself, how you held space for them without losing yourself. That's grace. It leaves fingerprints on souls without ever lowering your standards. So carry yourself with grace. Protect your peace. Give love with intention. Forgive without forgetting. And walk away without malice when you need to. That's how you keep your spirit light, your relationships healthy, and your circle aligned. Grace ain't weakness, it's the ultimate strength. It's the art of holding your value while still showing love. And once you master that, every relationship you touch gonna reflect it.